Okay.
That's fine.
All right, we're going to get going. Okay, can we, we're going to start the meeting now, please. Can I have silence? Okay, we're going to start the meeting. Thank you. This meeting of the City of Kingston Zoning Board of Appeals will now come to order. It is 5:05 PM. My name is Tony Arkelevich, and I will be chairing this proceeding. I will take a moment to explain how the Zoning Board of Appeals functions. The board is comprised of 5 members and 2 alternates. We have been appointed to serve the citizens of the City of Kingston. We perform this service to the best of our abilities on a voluntary unpaid basis. The other board members present are Mary Neubauer and Donna Martin. Okay, and we're expecting at least one other board member, but we have a quorum of 3, myself, Donna, and Mary. Usually there's a period for public comment, but I don't see any public here this evening, so we're going to have that. So I'll skip the decorum of that. Need to approve the minutes for the June 10th, 2021 meeting. Motion, please. Mary moves. Donna second. All in favor, aye. Approved 3-0. This evening, we have no new business. We have an item on the agenda, old business, owner applicant 323 Wall Street LLC, represented by Victoria Polidoro, attorney. Address 323 Wall Street, Kingston, New York. Zone C2, Mixed Use Overlay District, Ward 2. SBL 48.331-1-13. The applicant is seeking an appeal of the zoning enforcement officer determination in reference to Chapter 405-36L of the City of Kingston zoning code, the section dealing with temporary signs. I would like to take a few minutes just to review for the public record, to review the appeal of 323 Wall Street Music Hall from an action of the City of Kingston Building Department and an interpretation by the City of Kingston zoning enforcement officer regarding an alleged violation of Section 405-36 of the City of Kingston Code. Ms. Polidoro presented legal arguments for the appeal at the June 10th, 2021 ZBA meeting. The board tabled the appeal and allowed Ms. Polidoro to submit her summation on or before June 21st, 2021. The board members each received a copy of the supplemental document and have reviewed it individually and provided comments to Mr. Gartenstein. Ms. Polidoro's supplemental document points out her opinion of the following. Number 1, various deficiencies of the stop work order issued. Number 2, the presence via photos of other non-compliant temporary signs in Kingston. Number 3, the lack of constitutionality of the city's signage regulations in terms of free speech. And number 4, the ambiguity of the zoning law regarding temporary signs. Ms. Polidoro, have I accurately described your position and your legal arguments in sum and substance? Thank you. Does the board have any questions for Ms. Polidoro at this occasion? Donna, do you have any? Okay. In summary, the board, after careful individual consideration, mentions the following highlights found in its written decision. Number 1, the signs at issue are not signs announcing a special event as required, nor do they include a date for such event. Number two, although the building department apparently left some details out of the stop work order, Mr. Kitchen, zoning enforcement officer, discussed and advised counsel, Ms. Polidoro, of the nature of the violation. Number three, with regard to other allegedly improper city signs, enforcement is generally complaint-driven, and appellant may report such signs to the building department, and appropriate action will be taken as needed. Number four, in terms of the city's regulations regarding signs being ambiguous and unconstitutional, reasonable criteria is used to define size, purpose, and duration of temporary signs. A more detailed explanation of the board's rationale is found in the written decision. Brian Cafferty is now present, will be a voting member. Basically, I just reviewed Ms. Polidaro's position as presented in the supplemental document and our response via our comments to Mr. Gartenstein. If you wish, I could read them over again, our response, so you're familiar with them.
I would never make you do that, Tony.
Okay, you're wonderful. Thank you. As I said, a more detailed explanation of the board's rationale is found in the written decision. Board members are requested to comment with their vote on the following motion, which I'll need a motion to approve and then a second after I read this. Motion to deny the appeal filed by the owner of 323 Wall Street and affirm the determination of the CEO that the signs are not permissible temporary signs pursuant to the provisions of the City Code 405-36 for the reasons set forth at length in the written decision. Said decision being signed by this board this evening and provided to counsel for 323 Wall Street this evening. The fully executed decision will be subsequently filed in the office of the city clerk. And again, board members are requesting, if you would please just comment with your vote on the motion. At this point, I'll need motion to approve. Okay. Well, your comment will be with the vote. We just have to get the motion moved and seconded. Okay, as you vote, I'm going to do a roll call vote, and you'll have to sign actually two documents. This one will go to the clerk and the other will go to Ms. Polidoro. So the motion was made by DM, seconded by MN. On a roll call vote as follows, Joe Fitzgerald is absent. Brian Cafferty, aye or no?
Aye.
Mary Ann Newbauer, aye or no? Would you like to make a couple comments, Brian?
All I would say is that they're preparing to resubmit for permanency with regard to these signs, and it just doesn't seem to make sense based on the fact that the sign material is not of a permanent nature. So I'm not entirely sure why they're doing that, but I
Well,
think
they are able to do that to the Historic Landmark Preservation Commission and the Planning Board. It's my understanding they're going to go back with, I don't know what signs, but they were denied by the Historic Landmark Preservation Committee. As
perhaps I can ask Eric, have they been advised that the signs are not of a permanent nature?
No, because this proceeding tonight has to take place first with your decision tonight.
Okay.
And then I will follow up with order of revenue to have the signs, request the signs be moved. Ms. Polidoro did contact me a few days ago. and informed me that the Historic Preservation Landmarks had denied their application. She felt there was no need then at this point to bring an application to the CPA to make the signs permanent at this point in time. But that's all the information.
Well, that resolves that.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to comment on? Okay. Mary?
Well, the signs are
No,
obviously,
yes, sir.
oh, I said yes.
Okay, but I wanted him to comment,
Oh, I
so.
thought it was-
Okay, so
Yes.
Mary is a yes. And what are your comments?
Well, my comment is basically the signs are a temporary nature and it's against the zoning rules and regulations. We know that changes have to be made, but they stand as they are at this point.
Okay, thank you. Donna, yes or no? Yes.
Okay, I'm short. Okay, hi.
So your vote was yes.
My vote is yes. And my comment really, as I was looking through the appeal, the second notice from Ms. Polidoro was that these signs really have there's no political, no directional, no ideological signs. I mean, that's basically, it's just a sign, a temporary sign. And it really doesn't belong there.
I might add it's a temporary sign that doesn't conform to the.
I was just gonna add that it's a temporary sign.
It makes,
that
it
we have
makes
just
no
found.
reference to a date,
Right.
you know, nothing related in any way. It just simply is the name of what they're calling the facility now. Which is great. They should do a permanent sign and, you know, and be great.
Okay, let me just catch up with what I'm doing here. Okay, so on a vote of 4 in favor and 0 against, the chairman has declared this resolution approved. We will then now have to sign these and provide Ms. Baldero a copy. Dan, would you come up and just double check this, make sure everything's okay before I give it to Ms. Baldero?
Do you want this?
Yeah, I got to. That's all right. Yeah, we'll just keep it on there. That way there's a record of it when it gets filed, you know? Okay, at this point, Living Dangerously. Would you like to make any comments now that the meeting is about ready to be closed, or? Dan didn't hear you. You want to repeat it for Dan?
Well, I'm not on the board, so I didn't have to do it.
Okay, well, now we have to close the meeting, adjourn the meeting. I have a motion to adjourn at 5:20 PM.
I motion.
Second? Donna? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 0. Thank you, board, for your patience. We'll see you in September. Yes. Thank you, Bryant.